Hello everyone and welcome to this week's video. This week's video is going to be about Anemone and just some things about her and really why I don't think it was entirely her fault for all the things that she did in Art 2. Okay, so first, there's a few reasons. The first one is that Anemone was never without her mother on her back for her whole life until she went to Jade Mountain. While she was still in her egg, her mother slept over her, protecting her. And I don't really blame Coral for this, seeing as how none of her other female eggs hatched, and then once Anemone hatched, she was leashed to her mother, which, yeah, that's hard for her. Because she never had any free space, any time to herself. Yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I feel like Anemone had a hard time growing up. Another was that she wasn't really allowed to play with anyone, as we saw. Like in book 2, she has brothers, but they're too rough, and the only dragons that her mother trusts are her boring cousins, such as Moray. And yeah, so she couldn't really play. She didn't really have a childhood at all. And then there was also the threat of Albatross behind her. Of course, Turtle lived this out much more, it was more in the front for him, especially since he was a POV, so we could, hear his inner thoughts. But I can imagine Anemone, as soon as she found out she was an animus, living a life of, what if I become Albatross? Because Whirlpool's making me use my magic. And that leads me to the next reason. Her magic wasn't hers to control. It was her mother's, Blister's, and Whirlpool's. It wasn't her magic at that point. It belonged to others. And that may have made her feel more protective of it later on, especially when Darkstalker came. So when she saw that there was another animus, she was like, ooh, maybe this is a chance to show that I can do other things, to show that I'm not it's my magic, and so I can show it to someone else. I feel like she just really needed the attention of someone who wasn't going to abuse her for their own gain, which is what she thought Darkstalker would be. He was also the only other animus she thought she knew. Of course, she didn't know that Turtle was an animus. If she had, I think it would have been a lot different for her. Yeah, so there's of course a few other reasons, but these are the main reasons. A couple more include wanting to prove herself, because she was a brilliant princess, but she didn't really have a chance to prove that she could be good. It was just, you have to be good. There was even a part where she said that her mother threatened to get her a muzzle to go with the harness when she complained one time. So yeah, she really did grow up with a lot of control hanging over her. So yeah, of course some of the things she did, she should not have done, but there were a lot of things that I feel like were as a result of the way she grew up. I don't think that she should have made Moon clean for her, enchanting a mop to hit her until she cleaned. But she wanted the attention from Darkstalker that wasn't just, you have magic and you are a princess, so I'll give you attention. She wanted attention from someone that could teach her, that could be her friend even. Yeah, so really, I feel like Anemone would have had a much better life growing up if she hadn't been leashed to her mother, if she'd been given a chance to use her magic for herself, and if she had really just been given a much healthier and happier life. So anyway, that wraps up the discussion, and I'm going to start talking about the art. The art I have is Anemone staring at her front talons after she used magic. Maybe it's not after she hit Whirlpool and caused him to go into a pool of electric eels, but it is a time after she used magic. It's just a time after she used magic, and as we've seen repeatedly, her talons get really, really cold. So I drew tiny little snowflakes on her front talons. I made her in her standard blue and pink. I've been working on using the blending and smudge tools, so I did that on the gills. And then the dragon behind her, the dragon that's being drawn now, is Albatross, as like a sort of ghostly apparition, showing how she grew up in fear of becoming Albatross. So yeah, that basically wraps up today's video. Go to Redbubble, there will be a link in the description for it. This art won't be up there, but I have been working on some other things. I did a Dragonets of Destiny group together in different poses, so I have Clay thinking about food, Tsunami being all royal with her pearls, Lori camouflaged, Starflight having a scroll in front of him with his bandages over his eyes saying, "Oh right," because he can't read. I feel like that's kind of funny. And then I have Sunny just being Sunny, being happy. So yeah, that pretty much just wraps up today's video. Go buy stuff from Redbubble. It'll be supporting me. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next video.